Lord be with you, and a warm welcome to you from all of us here at Powers Court with Kilbride. It's Sunday, the 24th of October, and in our readings today we encounter the last part of the book of Job, where after holding fast to his faith in God and conversing honestly with God, Job is restored to life and ends up living a very prosperous life to the end of his days. And of course, in our gospel this morning, we meet again the blind beggar man, Bartimaeus, and his encounter with the Christ, which opens doors within our own hearts and minds today as to how we can come to Jesus. But first, we pause for a moment to draw breath. Wherever we may be this day, we now acknowledge the presence of Christ with us. As we come to God today, as we come to listen to His word and how it might speak to us, first we take time to remove the things that stand between us and Him. The things that may lie heavy on our hearts, we bring them to God now, asking for Him to forgive us and to renew us from this moment and for the rest of our lives.
Psalm 34. A song of thanksgiving for God's restoration, received when the psalmist sought God. Though the righteous have troubles, God delivers them. I'll bless the Lord at all times, His praise shall ever be in my mouth. My soul shall glory in the Lord, let the humble hear and be glad. O magnify the Lord with me, let us exalt His name together. I sought the Lord, and He answered me, and delivered me from all my fears. Look upon Him and be radiant, and your faces shall not be ashamed. This poor soul cried, and the Lord heard me and saved me from all my troubles. The angel of the Lord encamps those around who fear Him and delivers them. O taste and see that the Lord is gracious. Blessed is the one who trusts in Him. Many are the troubles of the righteous. From them all will the Lord deliver them. He keeps all their bones, so that not one of them is broken. But evil shall slay the wicked, and those who hate the righteous will be condemned. The Lord ransoms the life of His servants, and will condemn none who seek refuge in Him.
Taken from the Gospel according to St. Mark, chapter 10, beginning at verse 46. They came to Jericho. As he and his disciples and a large crowd were leaving Jericho, Bartimaeus, son of Timaeus, a blind beggar, was sitting by the roadside. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout out and say, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Many sternly ordered him to be quiet, but he cried out even more loudly, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus stood still and said, "Call him here." And they called the blind man, saying to him, "Take heart, get up, he is calling you." So, throwing off his cloak, he sprang up and came to Jesus. Then Jesus said to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man said to him, "My teacher, let me see again." Jesus said to him, "Go, your faith has made you well." Immediately he regained his sight and followed him on the way. This is the word of the Lord.
How long Bartimaeus had been begging outside the city walls, or how long he had been blind. But we do know that his reaction to the approach of the Christ was one that was not to be deterred by anybody around him. Acute of hearing, I can only imagine, Bartimaeus was well able to assess the time when Jesus would be close by, even over the sounds of the crowd. And it's that time that he gathered up all the strength he had, I would imagine, and decided to do something about this. He cried out so loudly that those around him actually tried to silence him, to tell him not to be shouting, just to sit there and to behave, if you like. But he wasn't to be deterred. I once heard it said that if you take one step towards God, he comes running to meet you. Isn't that an amazing? You almost get the vision or the image of the prodigal son returning and the father running to embrace him. And so it is with the Christ. To anybody who, with a whole heart and effort, comes to him, he will of course meet them halfway, at least halfway. And so Jesus stops and says to his disciples, "Bring this person to me. Bring him to me." But what happens next is very interesting as well. It's obvious what Bartimaeus may want from Jesus, in the very way that he is handled in order to get to the feet of the Christ. And yet Jesus asks him that question. What do you want me to do for you? I think meeting us halfway, Jesus requires us to actually come to him, and to come to him sincerely, and to know what we want. There's a beautiful part of the throwing off of the cloak. It's a very deliberate sentence. Bartimaeus threw off his cloak and he rose to go to the Christ. Throwing off the cloak is possibly throwing off the one thing that he possessed perhaps in his life, the thing that would give him shelter, the thing that was his security blanket maybe. But it was also throwing off the voices that told him to sit still and not to go, to stay as he was. Bartimaeus wanted to move on with his life, and he knew that this person in front of him was the one who could help him with this. In our churches this morning, I hope to lead a small contemplative piece where we sit beside Bartimaeus and we move with him to the feet of Jesus Christ. So I would ask you, in the silence of your own hearts, in the silence of your own rooms, wherever you may be this day, to take 5 minutes and to work through the story of Bartimaeus in your mind. Allow yourself to sit beside him. Allow yourself to picture the scene of the crowd. Allow yourself to picture the face of the Christ. Who is he for you? And then throw off the cloak. Throw off the doubts that you might have. Throw off the things that have kept you from him. And trust, just like Job, just like Bartimaeus, and rise and move towards the feet of the Christ. Hear him ask you, "What do you want me to do for you?" And ask him, tell him, and be watchful and see what happens. This day, may your sight be restored. May your eyes be open, and may the first thing you see when those eyes are open to a new perspective, perhaps, on how you are living your life, may the first thing you see when you open your eyes be the face of the Christ himself. God bless you this day.